My name is Emily. I always believed my relationship with Michael was unbreakable. We had been together for over 5 years, and I was certain nothing could tear us apart. He was my best friend, my rock, my everything. We made plans a wedding, children, a life together. It seemed like with him I would finally be truly happy. But everything shattered in one night. At first there were little things. Michael started working late more often, answering my calls less frequently. I tried not to think badly, telling myself it was just stress and exhaustion. But deep inside doubt, not at me. One day I accidentally saw a message on Michael's phone from Kyle, his friend. The conversation was short, but there was clearly something more than just friendship in their words. My heart stopped Michael with Kyle. I couldn't believe it. I tried to find excuses. Maybe it was a mistake, a joke, but every day the doubt grew stronger. We met, the three of us. I looked for answers, trying to break through the icy silence, but they looked at me as if I were the enemy, a traitor in their little world. I wanted to scream, to cry, to run away from the pain, but I stayed. Why I stayed? Because I didn't know how to leave. How do you walk away from someone who has been part of your everyday for 5 years? From the inside jokes, the shared toothbrush holder, the Sunday morning pancakes, the plans that reached 10 years ahead. Leaving wasn't just about packing a bag. It was about ripping out a part of myself. I wasn't ready. I wasn't strong. I wasn't even sure if I wanted the truth. So I stayed. I told myself that maybe I was imagining things. Maybe stress was playing tricks on me. I blamed myself. Maybe I was too distant lately, too caught up in work, too distracted. Maybe I pushed Michael away. That is what women are trained to do. Blame themselves when things start to fall apart. But nothing about the way he looked at me felt the same. His eyes used to linger on me, like I was a secret he wanted to keep forever. Now he barely looked up from his phone. And Kyle. God, Kyle. He'd been our friend, mine too. We'd all known each other since college. We laughed together, took road trips, went to concerts. I never imagined I had to protect my relationship from someone inside our circle. That's what made it feel like a double betrayal. Not just the man I loved, but the friend I trusted. I remember one specific evening, a Thursday. Michael came home late again, said they were having a guys' night. I played along, smiled, nodded, but something inside me was rotting. He walked past me with a quick kiss on the cheek, mechanical routine, like he was clocking in for a job. He hated. Later that night, I sat alone on the balcony with a blanket around me and a glass of wine. I looked at the lights in the distance and thought, is this how love ends? Not with screaming, not with slamming doors, but with silence and slow forgetting. He was asleep by the time I came back in that night. I stood over him just watching. His face was peaceful, and that hurt the most. He was sleeping so soundly while I was unraveling inside. I couldn't take it anymore. I went to the bathroom and stared at myself in the mirror. My reflection didn't look like me anymore. I looked tired, small, hollow. Then I walked back to the bedroom and picked up his phone. My hands were shaking. I didn't even know the passcode, or I thought I didn't. but I tried his birth year, then mine, then our anniversary. That one worked. And there it was. A notification from Kyle at the top of the screen. I tapped it and Madame burst. They didn't even bother to delete things. I guess when you get away with something long enough, you stop hiding. The messages started 6 months ago. Maybe more. Can't stop thinking about last night. She is clueless, lol. Be here by 9. You feel more like home than she ever did. I felt nauseous, the kind that crawls up your throat and makes your body shake. I scrolled through pictures, selfies of them in his car, in our kitchen on our couch. Then the videos. I couldn't watch more than a few seconds. It was too much. I dropped the phone. Literally dropped it. It hit the floor with a dull thud. And I collapsed next to it. I didn't cry. I thought I would. I thought I'd break into 1,000 pieces and scream into the night. But I didn't pee. I just sat there on my back against the cold tile, my knees to my chest, and stared at the floor. It was like my body had gone into shutdown mode. No one tells you that heartbreak isn't tea always loud. Sometimes it's just nothingness. I sat in that bathroom until the sun started to rise. I listened to the birds outside like they were mocking me. The world kept spinning. The morning came. The city breathed again. But I didn't move. I remember thinking, what now? What do I do with this truth? Should I confront him, scream, throw things, leave? But all I did was open the door quietly and walk back to bed. I slid under the blanket beside him. He stirred for a moment, then settled again. And I lay there awake, frozen, eyes open, staring at the ceiling. This is what betrayal feels like. Not fire, not rage. The next day felt unreal. I went through the motions, brushed my teeth, made coffee, answered emails like I was acting in someone else's life. Everything felt distant, like I was watching myself from the outside. Michael acted as if nothing was wrong. He made his usual smoothie, kissed me on the forehead like he always did. I stood there frozen, wondering how many times he'd done that, kissed me with Kyle still on his lips. I wanted to scream, to shove the phone in his face, to demand answers, but all I could do was breathe. Breathe and wait. I needed to be sure I wasn't reacting out of raw emotion. I wanted him to tell me. I wanted to see his face. When the light came apart that evening, I asked him to sit down. He looked at me with a hint of curiosity, maybe slight concern. I could tell he knew something was coming. Maybe not everything, but enough. I sat across from him at the kitchen table. That table had seen so many dinners, so many long talks, so many laughs. It felt wrong to turn it into a battleground. But here we were. My voice was steady. I don't know how I said, "How long have you been sleeping with Kyle?" For a split second, his face crumpled. Just for a moment, he blinked like someone turned off the lights inside him and turned them back on. Then his mask returned. "What, Emily? What are you talking about?" I didn't say anything. I just reached into my pocket and placed his phone on the table. Unlocked. The thread with Kyle already open. I watched the color drain from his face. He didn't even touch the phone. He just stared at it like it was poison. I can explain. Please don't do this right now. I laughed. A short, bitter laugh that sounded nothing like me. Don't do this right now, Michael. You've been doing this for months. Right here in this house. While I was sleeping in the next room. His mouth open like he wanted to speak, but he didn't. And somehow, that hurt more than if he started screaming. He looked small. Not the man I knew. Not the man I built a life with. I didn't mean for it to happen. He said finally, quietly. It just happened. I didn't know how to stop it. You didn't know how to stop effing my best friend. The words came out sharper than I expected. I didn't even mean to say it like that. It just spilled the disgust. The heartbreak, the betrayal, all racked into that one venomous sentence. He flinched. Actually flinched. I was lonely, he said. We were disconnected. You were always busy. You stopped touching me. That was when the tears finally came. Not from sadness, from rage. You don't get to blame me for this. I gave you everything. I trusted you. I chose you every damn day. Even when it was hard. And you chose him. He put his head in his hands. Silent. Pathetic. It wasn't just sex, was it? I asked. You loved him. He didn't answer. And that silence was the answer. I felt my heart break a second time. Not because of what they did, but because of what he felt. Because he had something with Kyle that he didn't. He won't with me anymore. Get out. He looked up Emily. Get out. He didn't fight. He stood up, slowly walked down the hallway, and packed a bag. No yelling. No scene. Just silence. 10 minutes later, the front door closed behind him. I was alone completely. The house felt different instantly, like he took the air with him. When he left, I stood in the middle of the living room, and everything felt foreign. The pictures on the walls, the mugs in the sink, the blanket on the couch we once shared. I curled up on the floor and let myself sob, deep raw sobs that came from the bottom of my stomach. The kind that shake your whole body, the kind you can't breathe through. I cried until there was nothing left. Until I was empty. Until I was quiet.